mind asking you, what do you...
I mean, I don't know what punishment, but I do deserve to be punished, so.
For what?
For what I've done. So, it's up to the judge and God, not to me.
Just know what her name is.
Megan Huntsman. What happened is when I went to prison, she stuck around for 2 or 3 years and she took off.
They say the perfect crime is one nobody notices. But what if the perfect crime happens right under your roof for 10 years and nobody ever notices? In the quiet town of Pleasant Grove, Utah, behind one ordinary suburban home, 7 tiny victims, hidden in plain sight. This is the story of Megan Huntsman, the mother who murdered her own newborns and kept them in the garage. Pleasant Grove, Utah, a town that looks like it belongs in a Hallmark movie. Families gather for Sunday barbecues. Children ride bikes along peaceful streets. Church bells chime in the distance. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone and nothing bad ever happens, right? That's what they thought. But behind one beige, weathered house on North 680 West, the walls were hiding a nightmare. Born in 1975, Megan Huntsman seemed like anyone else in Pleasant Grove. Petite, soft-spoken, quiet to the point of invisible. The kind of neighbor you forget you have. She married Darren West, her high school sweetheart. They had kids, a home, the promise of a future. But life wasn't perfect. Behind closed doors, addiction festered. Methamphetamine, alcohol, darkness. Their marriage cracked under the weight of substance abuse. But that wasn't the worst of it, because between 1996 and 2006, Megan carried 7 pregnancies to term, and not a single soul noticed. Imagine this, a woman pregnant 7 times, no one asking questions, no doctors, no hospital visits, no baby showers, no congratulations. Megan Huntsman was a master of concealment, loose clothing, avoiding neighbors, hiding behind addiction's fog. And when labor came, alone, in the dark, in the bathroom of her home. But what happened next is beyond comprehension. One by one, Megan Huntsman silenced her newborns before they ever had a chance to live. Suffocation, strangulation, a hair tie, wrapped tightly to make sure, then wrapped in plastic, hidden in a box, stored in the garage, beside holiday decorations, forgotten tools, ordinary junk. Or so it seemed. Fast forward to April 12, 2014. Darren West, recently released from prison, returns to the home. He's trying to clean up, to start fresh, sorting through the clutter in the garage. Boxes piled high, untouched 4 years. That's when he opened one. Inside, a tiny, decomposed body. An infant, lifeless, wrapped in plastic. Forgotten, but never gone. Panic surged through Darren's veins. He called 911.
Pleasant Grove Police.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Can I have an officer come to this address?
And your name?
My name's Darren West. I just found something in my garage. I think it's a miscarriage.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean by a miscarriage you found?
I have no idea. Just please send an officer up here.
It sounds like you may need medical.
It's been wrapped up in a plastic bag and it stinks.
Okay, what is it?
It's a little baby.
Police arrived, and what they found, not 1, not 2, but 7 tiny bodies, each hidden in a separate box. The garage had become a tomb. The news exploded. 7 infant bodies found in Utah garage. Pleasant Grove mother confesses to murdering newborns. Neighbors were stunned. She was always quiet, they whispered. She seemed normal, they said. But how normal can a person be, with 7 dead babies hidden under their roof?
It's here.
That's 3.
1, 2, 3.
The double house, the basement and the upstairs are 2 different.
My 2 daughters live here. See, we've been cleaning the garage.
Let's start off with, is it your wife or your girlfriend?
I'm still married to her, but...
Okay, so legally, according to law, it's still your wife.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why don't you tell me what her name is?
Megan Huntsman. What happened is when I went to prison, she stuck around for 2 or 3 years and she took off.
But she is with a boyfriend now.
Where is she?
In West Valley somewhere.
Are you able to help us understand what's going on here? It was a miscarriage.
It was like 9 years ago when we first left.
And how far into your pregnancy were you?
Like 7 months. It was born.
How soon can you come down here? Our detectives need to ask you some follow-up questions so that we can, rule out any kind of foul play.
Okay, that was foul play.
Okay, listen to me. I need you to stay at your residence. We're going to have a West Valley City officer come pick you up.
Megan Huntsman didn't run. She didn't cry. She sat with detectives, eerily calm, and confessed to everything. Her words, chilling. I couldn't raise them. I was too messed up. I couldn't let them live like this. But was it addiction, desperation, or something darker? The investigators weren't sure. What they were sure of was the coldness in her eyes, the absence of guilt. She admitted 6 infants born alive, murdered by her hands, 1 born still, discarded like the others, 7 tiny lives, erased before they ever began.
We've done more unwrapping of what was in the boxes, and we wanted to just talk to you more about some of the stuff we found. So I know you've already told me that you didn't put anything in there that you remember, but I just wondered if, over the last couple of days, if you've thought of more or if you remembered anything else.
No, I haven't.
All right. Nothing at all? Okay. Well, first thing, I'm sure you can imagine that this is kind of hard for the officers to see, the condition that the children are in. But what the professionals are telling us that have dealt with decomposed bodies is that there's an additional chemical odor. Did you add anything to the bags? Did you put anything in there that would generate a stronger? Was there anything that you put in the bag other than the child? Okay. No chemicals, no. I know I asked you about trinkets.
I've always bought scented garbage sacks.
Yeah, I don't know if that would do it, because they're saying it's more of a chemical smell and not so much of a scented perfume type smell.
No, I never put anything in there.
Right. Okay. As I've gone back and reviewed my interviews and started to type my reports, there were some things that I noticed that you said that I didn't ask you about at the time. One of them was you said that when the baby was born that you didn't want it to cry. Do you remember telling me that?
No. I said they wouldn't cry at first. I didn't say I didn't want them to.
Yeah, what it was is you said that there were people home and it would cry. And I didn't know if you were referring to people who were renting the basement or if Darren was home or something else.
It could have been either or.
Okay. You said that you delivered all of these babies except one when no one else was home.
Yeah, no, 2. I can't think on all of them, but I know someone was home at least 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. So you are remembering more.
Yeah, I know 3 or 4 times someone was home.
Okay. You did tell me that the other time when they were home that you of course didn't scream. That's what your statement was before. And that's one of the things that a lot of people are having a hard time understanding is that you successfully had so many home births without major complications.
I don't know. I know I never had any complications.
Okay.
So you didn't have prolonged bleeding or anything like that you were worried about? Hemorrhaging or anything?
One more thing I wanted to ask you about, again, from watching my interviews back. When I would confirm about the 7 children, and you would say that the first 6 you choked, that you'd get a towel or a shirt or whatever.
Yeah, I just told you I wasn't sure which ones.
Right. And you'd put it in the towel, choke it, deliver the afterbirth, put it in the towel. wrap it up, get a garbage sack, and find a box. Would you have emptied the box before you went into labor, or how would that process work?
What do you mean empty? Like you had stuff in it?
Yeah, you said you'd get a box.
Sometimes,
Would you get the box
sometimes,
ready?
Like I said, I would, like, if I was in the bathroom, I'd put the baby under the bathroom sink wrapped up, and then I'd go find a box.
Okay. And so you'd have to go empty the box right after you've delivered?
Right after, I'd wait a couple hours, you know.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't do it right after. No, there's no way.
Right. Well, when I would rehash these, and you would say that the one when Darren was in prison was stillborn.
That's the one I can't think, I think.
And that's just it, you're not sure.
Yeah.
Why aren't you sure? What are you remembering?
All I can remember from that day is I know I went into labor and I had it fast. And I was trying to hurry before my girls got home from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even remember. I can't. I'm sorry. My mind is just a total blank.
And you say you have a hard time remembering.
I do. I'm like rattling my brain in there. And I can't.
Why do you think it's so hard to remember?
I don't know. I think it's because I really can't even remember half of what I was doing then.
And that's because you were...
Yeah, and I can't remember now. I've been sitting back.
When you say yeah, you mean because you were using meth?
Yeah.
Okay.
This has got to be a trying time for you.
Oh, I keep laying there hoping I'll fall asleep and it was just a dream, but...
What? What's a dream?
All this. Everything I've done. I'll lay there, just close my eyes and just hope I don't wake up. I don't know, I've got so much running through my head right now.
Sounds like you feel like shameful.
I don't know, I've always just felt like that. I've always just felt I'm not even worthy of being alive. And I don't know why.
Another question that's come up is, if you were ashamed, why didn't you get on birth control? Did you think about it?
I know I was on it for a little bit. It made me sick like the first time I took it, and so I just stopped taking it, and I never even thought of it again. I know, people out there are probably just wanting to kill me right now, huh?
I wouldn't say that. They're looking for answers. They want to understand why. And how. And we might not ever know how.
But the why is, I don't know why.
Well, it sounds like you've told us that it's a combination
It is
of
a
money,
combination.
drugs, and shame. Would you say that's fair to say?
Yeah.
Did you want to keep any of these babies?
Yeah, I did. And I don't know, like I said, my mind, I was just messed up in drugs and got scared, didn't know what I was doing, and then that, I don't know how it happened so many times. I don't have an explanation. Well, it's out, and I know I did wrong, and I know I should be punished for it. So it's not up to me. It's up to, but I'm not saying, oh, well, I should just be let free, because I know I shouldn't be.
That's why I'm asking you. What do you...
I don't know what punishment, but I do deserve to be punished, so.
For what?
For what I've done. So, it's up to the judge and God, not to me.
2015. Courtroom packed. Families, journalists, a nation in disbelief. Megan Huntsman stood, emotionless, as the charges were read. 6 counts of first-degree murder. The judge called her actions the most heinous, depraved crimes I have ever seen. Her sentence, 6 terms of 5 years to life. 3 served consecutively. Parole, not before 2064, when she be nearly 90 years old. Darren West, cleared, never charged, but haunted forever. Their 3 surviving daughters, raised in the same home, inches away from boxes of death they never knew existed. Imagine living your childhood, unaware that your siblings were hidden in cardboard coffins, in the garage. The town, shattered. Pleasant Grove, no longer so pleasant. Experts debated, was she a victim of mental illness, of postpartum psychosis, or a cold-blooded killer hiding in plain sight? She hid pregnancies, she hid death, and for 10 years, She hid herself behind the mask of addiction and suburban life, a monster disguised as a mother. Today, the house still stands, new owners, fresh paint, but the walls, remember, the garage, still creaks at night. And some say, if you listen closely, you can hear the faint cries of the forgotten, 7 tiny souls, silenced, but never truly gone. They say evil is obvious, but sometimes it's quiet. It hides in plain sight, behind your neighbor's door, beneath the surface of everyday life. Megan Huntsman lived among us, and for 10 years, no one knew